Last month, metal legend Ozzy Osbourne shared what he referred to as one of the most difficult things he's ever had to share with his fans, announcing the cancellation of his European tour and alluding to the end of his touring career. But now there's a very interesting update that apparently has involved a change of course for Ozzy Osbourne that could actually bring him back out on the road. Before we continue, YouTube tells us we have a lot of returning viewers here. If you could take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the latest rock news, we would appreciate it. In a heartbreaking statement released last month, Ozzy Osbourne announced the cancellation of his European tour set for later this year. He wrote at the time, "This is probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to share with my loyal fans. As you may all know, 4 years ago this month I had a major accident where I damaged my spine. My one and only purpose during this time has been to get back up on stage. My singing voice is fine. However, after 3 operations, stem cell treatments, endless physical therapy sessions, and most recently groundbreaking treatment, my body is still physically weak. Believe me when I say that the thought of disappointing my fans really fucks me up more than you will ever know." Later in the statement, he said he was looking for, quote, "ideas for where I will be able to perform without having to travel from city to city and country to country." But in a recent interview on SiriusXM's Ozzy Speaks, Osbourne had a slightly different tone. He said, "Well, I've been working my guts out to try and get back on my feet. I've come to the point where Sharon says to me, you know what, the truth of the matter is you can't keep booking tours and failing, canceling. So if I can ever get back to where I can tour again, fine. But right now, if you said to me, can you go on the road in a month? I couldn't say yes. I mean, I could tour, I'd tour, but right now I can't book tours because right now I don't think I could pull them off. The fucking press drives you nuts. I mean, look at the magazine. Ozzy's on his last legs. I'm not fucking dying. Come on, guys. Haven't I had it bad enough already? If I get okay today, the doctor said to me today, oh, you can tour, it would take another 6 months to get together, you know? He said, you've got no idea. You got no idea what I feel like a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. The only thing I've got that keeps me going is making records. I gotta get out there. I'm still in constant pain. I do the best I can to stay away from pain medication, but there are times when I go, you know, I've got to take something. I mean, last week I couldn't. I've been sleeping great, and all of a sudden, for 2 back-to-back nights, I never slept a wink. If you're going to torture me, just keep me awake for a couple of days. I'll tell you whatever the fuck you want me to say." And as Ozzy shared in that original statement, he instructed his team to look for ways that he could, in fact, perform on the road. And according to a new report from The Sun, it appears that Ozzy just might have found a way. According to The Sun, who spoke to a friend of Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness has vowed to return to the stage, even if from a chair. The decision reportedly takes inspiration from the likes of Axl Rose and Dave Grohl, who have both performed from that infamous throne. The friend told The Sun, Ozzy is refusing to give up on his hope of getting on stage despite his statement last month. He has declared, I'm gonna fucking get back on stage. He still has issues with his balance and cannot stand unaided for long periods of time on his legs. It frustrates him that doing a full 90-minute show filled with his famous stage stomping and crowd interactive moves is off the table. But he's considering doing gigs in a throne like what Axl did in 2016 with Guns N' Roses. He was really impressed by that move, and he feels that Phil showed that audiences do resonate with you. Ozzy worries that he may not be able to sit still, which could be challenging. But there is talk of bringing in some special effects and even stage machinery to have the chair move around. He feels a lot of options are on the table, but Oz is not ruling out Vegas or LA runs. The source continued, that is Ozzy's determination. However, Sharon is concerned about her husband being put through a heavy-duty workload around gigs. Firstly, she has deep concerns about his balance and wants him to get back to walking properly, before even discussing comebacks. And she is particularly worried about him losing his balance and suffering injuries. Oz has spoken too about Sharon's fears of his Parkinson condition, prompting him to suffer falls like Michael J. Fox. I know not everyone will agree with this, but just knowing how much Ozzy Osbourne wants to get back up on stage, I would go see him from a throne, and even the idea of him being able to drive the throne around up on stage sounds pretty fucking amazing. I would love to see this happen, and if it makes Ozzy happy, and there are people that say, oh, Sharon's pushing him to do this, I don't believe that. I believe Ozzy really loves performing. He wants to do it. He has said this so many times publicly at this point. You gotta believe the guy with what he's saying. He's always talking about how he's trying to get up on stage. He's still doing albums. I take him at his word, and it would be awesome to see him get back up on stage, even in a residency environment or some sort of tour where he's able to do this, where it's weekend runs. We'll have to see how this all shakes out, but it is great to hear that Ozzy and his wonderful team are exploring possible ways for him to be able to fulfill something that is very personally important to him. That's your latest update from Rockfeed. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and check out the recommended video up on your screen.